Hello and welcome to our new video, where I will explain the Korchnoi variation of Caro-Kann. Korchnoi or Tartakower variation starts after knight c3, d takes e, knight takes e, knight f6, knight takes and e takes. Now white can play c3, bishop e3, bishop c4, c4 or knight f3, even bishop e2 is playable, but all these moves usually transpose to one of two different variations. This fact makes Korchnoi variation easy to learn, but anyway, if you want to master it, after this video also test it on the board and maybe help yourself with the engine. After almost any move you can play bishop d6. After bishop e3, black castles. Now again there is more moves, but it will mostly transpose to the same position. So queen c2, rook e8 check, knight e2. Because our h-pawn is weak, we have to consider defending it by either g6 or h6, and this is where the positions start to differentiate. After h6, white will castle kingside. Black continues with either queen c7 or delay that move with knight d7. The game continues with bishop e3, queen c7, h6 or g6, and b6. Now white plays c4 to prevent c5, which would open the space for black's bishop. And now if we go back and start with queen c7, we can see this leads to the similar position. Okay, here is bishop on d2 instead of e3, but this doesn't change the situation much for the black. And this is one of two most common positions, which Korchnoi variation leads to. As black, your plan is maybe to reroute the knight and double up rooks, and maybe try to enable c5 move, while white will try to put the rooks in the center, expand on the queen side, put the knight on g3 and so on. The other move, g6, provokes h4, and after bishop e6, h5, f5. H takes g and f takes g. Now bishop can move to any of three available squares, to make space for king to castle queenside. After bishop h6, queen f6. And now white will probably castle, knight d7, and at any knight f4, we want to keep the bishop with bishop f7. Now if white plays f3 or king b1, we will play b5. The game might continue with knight h3, with plans to trade a for your white squared bishop. You can simply answer with bishop f8, queen d2, and bishop d5. And if bishop takes bishop, knight takes, and knight f4, and this is already move 20. White is better if he manages to trade off all pieces at the moment, but it's on you how you will play from here. After bishop f8, white can also play bishop c1, and after queen e6, mate threat, b3, knight f6, knight g5, queen d7, and this is also move 20, and rarely you will come so far. So let's go back. If bishop instead of h6 goes to e3, we still play queen f6, castles, knight d7, black develops the same way. And just remember, at any knight f4, bishop f7. Okay, if white plays c4, we just develop our bishop to f5. After something like knight f3, we exchange the black squared bishop and castle, and both sides are very solid, and if you want, check further lines with the engine. Anyway, if knight f3, we play bishop d6, as usually. Game might continues with bishop e2, and both sides castle. Engine even finds knight s6, bishop takes s6, pawn takes s6, as equal, as these bishops are so stone, but I would prefer white here, because black really has a ruined pawn structure. And if bishop c4, we can still play bishop d6, as after queen e2 check, we can simply defend with bishop e7. And after some normal development, both sides are solid and both sides have attacking chances. This is all from my side. I hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching, goodbye.